Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of the Wolfe Den. I am your host, Wolfe. We are geared up and ready for Week 13 action. Lots to discuss. Most important thing, the approval of instant replay for the postseason. They are going to get the calls right and make sure that the right team moves ahead with the ultimate goal of winning Arena Bowl 22 in New Orleans. We are also going to have AFL Rewind, and we'll wrap things up with a preview of the big Monday night Southern Division showdown between Georgia and New Orleans. Georgia red hot. New Orleans trying to stop the two-game losing streak. For the first time in the 22-year history of the Arena Football League, instant replay will be used. It's going to be implemented in the postseason. Now, with our help of our friends over at ESPN, they're going to have the cameras and everything set up so that plays can be reviewed. Now, the understanding of it is going to be that the coaches will each get 2 challenges. Now, even if the coach is right on a challenge, they will not get to keep that challenge. So it's a total of 2 challenges per team. You will get an extra one if the game goes into overtime. But I just think for the integrity of our sport, considering the hard work of the players, the coaches, the staffs, everybody who put so much time and effort into it, you just want to get the calls right. So they tested this out a little bit earlier this season without the public's knowledge. They found a way to use instant replay, and it will be a part of the postseason. So they're going to get it right, and we will have hopefully the right champion on July 27th in New Orleans. It is now time for AFL Rewind, where we take a look back at the rich history of the Arena Football League. What happened this week in AFL history? I'm going to tell you something very significant happened off the field. May 20th, 1998, the NFL amended its bylaws to allow NFL owners to purchase Arena Football League teams in their markets. And you look around the league, it has had a huge effect. Arthur Blank down in Georgia, Jerry Jones in Dallas, some of the most influential NFL owners seeing the great opportunities to be a part of the Arena Football League, and it has really helped the AFL in terms of exposure and getting access to NFL ownership and the rich resources they have in the National Football League. So that is a big day. How about on the field? Let's go back to May 24th, 1991, first ever exhibition game for the Tampa Bay Storm. They head up to Jacksonville. They're losing against the New Orleans Knights, 23-7. Who do they bring in to rally the team? Jay Gruden, the third-string quarterback. He rallies them to a 37-30 victory. So Jay Gruden, first time started making some noise with the Tampa Bay Storm all the way back in 1991. So that's it, AFL Rewind this week. Let's preview the big Monday night matchup in the Southern Division. Georgia taking on New Orleans. Georgia comes in at 6-5, New Orleans at 7-4. And what a difference a couple weeks made. Looking back, New Orleans was 7-2, and they were one of the feel-good stories in the National Conference, but back-to-back losses have put some pressure on New Orleans head coach Mike New and his outstanding rookie quarterback Danny Wimprine. They really need to win at home against Georgia. Now, the Forest a couple weeks ago were almost left for dead, but they get wins against Philadelphia, rallying from 21 points down to win that game in the final seconds. And then last week, very impressive win against New York and Aaron Garcia. Garcia throws 10 touchdowns. It's not enough as Georgia wins that game 72-67. I really like both these head coaches, Doug Plank for Georgia.
Let's go out there and show these people what the Georgia Force are all about.
Mike New in New Orleans. This is really going to be a good test to see which one of these teams is probably going to make it to the postseason. The loser may be looking at the outside of the playoffs in 2008. It is so tough in the National Conference. You do not want to miss this game Monday night at 8 o'clock on ESPN2 and ESPN2 HD. Thank you all so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Wolfe Den. We had a ton of fun bringing it to you. Memorial Day weekend is coming up. Get out there, have some fun in the sun, have some barbecues, but also go indoors to support your favorite Arena Football League team. We appreciate everybody joining us, and we'll talk to you soon.